we should be live, ready to go. Maybe. This is what happens when I try something new. Okay, yes. Okay, just gonna wait a couple minutes for people to get in. I figure that doing the little premiere, just to give people a heads up, but I don't know how any of this stuff works, so if you're watching the playback, it's probably gonna be like 5 minutes in or so until we actually get into all the tweets and everything. So, yes, it'll be just a moment. How's everybody's day going? Let's see here. It's my icon's super tiny. Yeah, it's good enough. I need to get some like little intro or something set up at some point. But it is what it is. Happy August, everybody. I hope everybody survived the 6-hour Twitter spaces that happened yesterday. That whole thing was just a mess. Just a giant mess. Hey, Justin, how's it going? I just find it very funny that Def Noodles could spend 6+ hours on a Twitter space talking to everybody, but he doesn't have the time in his day to actually watch the content that he's talking about or responding to on his channel, hence the whole Papa Gut situation. Or he said in that Twitter spaces multiple times that no, he did not watch his content. Like, I get it, 21 videos, you don't have time to watch it, blah, blah. But if you're going to go in and try to debate somebody or have an argument with somebody, you should at least watch some of it. Hey, Christian. Hey, Katie. Oh my God, I had to watch the last hour and a half today. Yeah, I was watching it at work, and my boss is like, what are you listening to? And I was like, it's just a giant mess. Like, I just basically said just a live podcast. Kavos came back day/2 days ago. Yeah, I mean, just because somebody doesn't post a video in a certain amount of time doesn't mean that they've left YouTube. Like, there's plenty of times when people will take weeks, if not months off. Like, the last time I posted an actual full video before I started posting some again this past week was like 4 months ago. Just because I'm not posting things doesn't mean that I left YouTube. Like, I don't understand his whole thinking when he's like, oh, Kavos left or quit YouTube. No, according to you, he quit YouTube. Doesn't mean he actually did. Hey, Amber. Let's see here. Where's my counter here? I thought I had an actual timer here somewhere. Are we at live? 5 minutes? Okay. So I wanted to just wait like 5 minutes for some people to hop in before we start going over everything, but I didn't want to wait like too long. So that way people watching it back aren't like, okay, get into it. Hey, Natasha, how's your vacation? All right, so if you guys are unaware of the whole situation between Papa Gut and Def Noodles, we're going to basically break down most of the tweets. If I went with all of them, like, we would probably be here for a few hours going over everything. Hey, Terrence. Hey, Jolene. So I tried to just narrow it down to what I felt were like the main things. I have a couple of like off tangent topics where Def was talking about other people about the situation. So I just felt like ones that kind of related more towards it than people just calling him out on his behavior. Hey, Crystal. He's still going on about it today on his podcast. Of course he was. Of course he was. So if you're unaware of like how we got to this point, basically about 5 months ago, Def Noodles and Papa Gut had a little bit back and forth where Def called Papa Gut an incel and then went on to his channel to talk about the entire situation, where he did eventually end up apologizing. Although during that, if you watch the debate, Def Noodle's whole persona, or whatever you want to call it, he constantly blamed any of his jokes or anything on like the cat in the Minecraft house. This was like back when he was doing the cat in the Minecraft house bit. Okay, so to me, my personal opinion is that once he got rid of that character, then anything that you tried to put onto that character no longer applies. And so all of that goes on to you. You are the person now running the channel. The one who is reporting and doing all of these videos now is not that same person, because that cat in the Minecraft house is gone. So you now, Dennis, are the one who is saying these things. And you may say it's comedy, but it doesn't matter if you say it's comedy and people don't like it and call you out on it, because you have the right to say what you want to say, but people also have the right to say, I don't agree with you and I'm going to call you out on your BS. Still have a few days before going back to work. Yay. Hey, Addie. So during that whole thing, Dennis kept saying, well, just admit that I hurt your feelings by calling you an incel. Okay, so you admit that I hurt your feelings. And multiple times, over and over again, Papa Gut kept saying, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. That's not what I'm mad about. No. He's like, no, just admit it. You're upset about it. I hurt your feelings. You're upset. And even though he constantly said multiple times, no, you didn't. And Dennis just kept saying, yeah, okay, so we're mad. You're mad because I called you an incel, and that's why we're here. Like, that was literally like the whole argument the entire time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going nowhere. But eventually, Dennis did apologize. Like, okay, well, you know, I thought it was a joke and everyone else thought it was a joke, so I just assumed that everyone is going to think it's a joke. And what you think is a joke, other people might not think is a joke. Like, that's just the way that jokes go. Some jokes land, some don't. Somebody will think everything is funny and somebody will think nothing's funny. So you can say that it was just a joke and you weren't like trying to hurt people's feelings. But, I mean, Papa Gut said, you didn't hurt my feelings, but then you kept telling him that his feelings were hurt. Like, he was trying to tell him how to feel, which multiple times he said, no, you didn't hurt my feelings. So that was kind of like the whole situation between that first debate. And it just made Dennis look really bad, because he kept talking about, like, I'm a comedian, I'm funny, the whole channel is satire, blah, blah, blah. Like, and it's, if you watch it, it's like 2 hours. It's definitely not anywhere as nearly as bad as his Twitter Spaces, but that's kind of just like the whole back and forth that happened, and then it went away. And then up until about a week ago, there was there really wasn't much going on. Obviously, Papa Gut's a commentary channel, so he's going to make videos on subjects that he wants to talk about and commentary that he wants to talk about, and Def Noodles is one of those subjects, okay? Or the Def Noodles channel. So, for some reason, like, somebody was calling him out on Twitter, and then this is, like, the first tweet I did try to put all the tweets in order, but for some reason when I was transferring them over, some things did get jumbled, so we might skip a few because some things are repeats, and for some reasons the videos didn't line up with the tweets, so we'll have to go back and grab those and put them in where they go. But he was arguing with somebody on Twitter, and then that's when he brings up the tweet that I have now. So this is basically where we are going to start. So he said, Kava's quit YouTube, hasn't posted in weeks. Nobody would know who Papa Gut is in commentary had I not given him crumbs by doing a quote-unquote debate with the sole purpose of calling him an incel to his face and laughing in his face about it. Meanwhile, you're here sucking their micro peepees. Now, he apologized in that debate, quote-unquote, for what he said. So now with this tweet, clearly he was only apologizing just to get people to stop attacking him for what he was saying. So he clearly didn't mean it. So at this point, any time that you're going to apologize for anything, I'm not going to take it real. To me, you're only doing it because you're getting called out. It's like influencers who do the same things over and over and over again and get called out about it. And then they go and they do the same thing again and they apologize. They're not really sorry. So this is going to be the exact same thing. So he's going to apologize, just like he apologized last night in the podcast or Twitter Spaces, but then apparently he's still talking about it on the podcast today. So we'll have to wait and see how long it is until he brings it back up again, because I'm not going to believe it. You say, if you say you're funny, you're not funny. Yeah. People will laugh if you're funny, and no one was laughing. Hey, Crystal. All right, so we'll go on. So then Papa Gut quote tweets and says, Dennis, I know you desperately want to believe you had a true impact on my success, but realistically, you don't. I was a popular content creator before you, and I'll be even more popular after you're gone. It's clear the fundamental difference between us is that I've been after, I think he meant able, to learn and grow from my mistakes, and you seem to lack the ability to do so. Last time we interacted, you got a loyal fan base who trusted you and were willing to ride or die for you. Now they're gone because of you and because of how poorly you carried yourself. In our last conversation together At the end of the day, I would struggle to find a single person that speaks about you in a positive way because you burned so many bridges. But more and more people are saying my name with weighted respect. And Papa Gut was a larger creator. I think he had like 2 million on TikTok before he got banned from TikTok. So it's not like you gave him crumbs. He also had a fairly large established YouTube channel too, with I think like 160,000 subscribers or something at the time. Yeah, not as many as the Def Noodles channel does, but I wouldn't put Def's content in the commentary space. It's more of the tea space versus people like Augie, Nicholas Diorio, people who actually go on live stream and have like commentary on other topics besides just like YouTube influencer drama. That's my opinion, though. He still thinks it's all a joke and that Papa Gut is too soft. Yeah. So Dennis then quote tweeted and said, "Oh, people are saying your name in weighted respect, all right? So much so that their mouths are having a hard time lifting words." Now, you can take this in two ways. You can take it as, nobody has any kind of respect for you, otherwise they would be talking about the situation and having your back, but everyone's silent. Or you can take it as a fat joke where he's trying to body shame him. And with the amount of people that were calling Dennis out for all of this, I would say it's the latter, because there were plenty of people who had opinions about what was going on, and most of them were in favor of Papa Gut. So then Papa Gut quote tweets it and said, "Fat jokes are very funny, Dennis. Almost as funny as you having a mental breakdown about another content creator that turned you to therapy. Your entire life is online. What will you have when your career is over? And if you're not sure what that is referencing, it is about all of the videos that Dennis has made about Keemstar, and the fact that on his podcast he said that he talks to his therapist about Keemstar. He's currently in a lawsuit with Keemstar, a defamation suit, because Keemstar also made a similar joke to what Dennis is saying that he did. So it's very funny that when Dennis does it, it's a joke, but when somebody does it to Dennis, it's not a joke. And then for some reason, Dennison just quote tweets it and says the exact same thing with a copy and paste, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, is this like a mocking game, like a repeating game? I have no idea. So then it goes on to when Dennis brings up Kat Tembarge, and he says how to be a journo in 2022. Apply Addison Rae's dad Monty Lopez as a pedophile in a tweet. Interview his 25-year-old girlfriend in the article. Rake in the cash, more like pennies, cause old media's going broke for a reason, haha, suck it. And then shared the following screenshots that he took, where Kat tweeted, when Addison Rae blew up on TikTok, she moved to LA and her family followed. In July, the same platform revealed Monty Lopez, Addison's dad, was using his daughter's newfound fame to pursue young women, with pursue young women underscored or highlighted. And then he highlighted in the article, Ash25 said she broke up with Monty Lopez in July after dating for 5 months. She spoke to NBC News and shared over 150 screenshots of text exchanged between her and Lopez during the relationship. The text appears to show Lopez wooed Ash with his promise of long-term commitment, as well as money and fame tied to Ray's success. And then zooms in on the Ash25. Now, he'll go on to his reasoning later on that since she said in the original section, pursuing young women, that to him, she's insinuating that he's pursuing minors and is calling him, and she's calling him a pedophile. Like, where does young women equal minors or underage? It doesn't. That's just Dennis's interpretation of it. And then he followed that up by saying, by the way, Addison Rae's dad is a creep who's clearly going through a midlife crisis. However, implying the guy is a pedophile and then going and interview his 25-year-old girlfriend is by far the most desperate shit I've seen in my life. She didn't apply that in the context of the title, Dennis. You implied that in your tweet. So then he does tweet out, MF got famous on TikTok for quote-unquote joking about fucking 15-year-old girls and then gets offended when someone jokes about him. But you know, he was right. I shouldn't have said that. I should have said, instead, he makes himself so small in his videos to hide the fact that he looks like a pedophile. And then tags FBI Los Angeles in the tweet. These are the tweets that are out of order, so let me just skip those. And that's the videos that are out of order. Don't mind me. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Okay. Sorry, I rearranged everything and then it's being stupid in my scroll through. All right. So then underneath of that tweet, he tags at FBI Los Angeles, put this MF on a watch list. He looks mad suspicious. So not only is he just tweeting this out, like his thoughts or whatever, but now he's tagging the FBI in it for some reason because he thinks it's funny. Now, I don't know how the FBI Twitter works. I would assume that they do look at all tweets that they are tagged in, whether they're jokes or not, and decide what they want to pursue and look into or what they don't. But I know he said, like, oh, do you think that the FBI Los Angeles Twitter is actually real? Like, that whole thing's a joke. Okay, you don't know that. That's just what you're saying. So how do you know what they're doing behind the scenes? They now could have a file open where they're going in and looking at everything because of this whole tweet. And on top of that, when you're doing stuff like this on a public platform in front of hundreds of thousands of people, there are some people out there that aren't stable who might actually 100% believe this and then go out and do something bad to this person. All right, so then Papa Gut quote tweets and says, "Thank you at Def Noodles for quote tweeting my full and honest explanation as to the joke that I've condemned multiple times. That was meant to call out an alleged predator behavior as you attempt to slander me. It's additionally interesting that we talked about this in live conversation, so you already understand the full context. Or you should if you were actually listening. The reality is that I put my platform on the line to deplatform multiple predatory content creators, Jerobi, official Gemini, while you intentionally misrepresent situations constantly to sensationalize a story. Using false pedophilia accusations to try to deplatform someone is absolutely disgusting and invalidating to actual survivors and molestation survivors, but it's clear you don't really care about that." And then he did go on to post a video where he said, "I decided to talk about my response to the situation on my live stream. It gets raw and emotional towards the end, which is embarrassing for me, but I feel the need to put it out. Dennis, I hope you get everything you deserve in your life." Now, if we go back to this tweet, like, they already discussed this in that previous live stream that they did together, where they talked about this joke. So clearly, he wasn't actually listening or cared to listen about that joke. And and how Papa Gut has condemned it multiple times, and he still does to this day. Now, what's interesting is also in that debate or live stream, whatever you want to call it, Dennis says to weaponize sexual assault or pedophilia in any manner against anyone is completely wrong and should never be done. But yet he goes on and does it himself just a few months later because, oh, it's a joke. It's like, dude, the only joke here is you. Like, what you're saying is the joke. Do you not get that? Like, no one takes you seriously. Like, I get that you're supposed to be a satire comedy channel, but you have, like, lost all credibility with anything you say. So anything you say, no one is going to believe, whether it's true or false at this point. So then Adam McIntyre tweets out, "Def Noodles is truly one of the worst people ever, genuinely." And then Kat replied to that and said, "A few days ago, he falsely claimed I implied someone was a pedophile, and I just went to check his profile, and he's now outright falsely claiming people are pedophiles, which is also what he's suing over for happening to him." Yep, that is true. So then Def Noodles quote tweeted that and said, "This person is an actual member of the media who just a few days ago implied Addison Rae's dad was a pedophile, and now saying that someone, quote unquote, looks like a pedophile is equivalent to accusing them of that. This is why mainstream media is dead." Which, again, no, she never implied that. Dennis, you in your tweet was the one that implied that. So you are the one who's doing that, not her. And she did later on go on to the Twitter Spaces and say, that's not what I said at all. I didn't imply that. You're the one that implied that. He's like, well, hypothetically, can't a paper say this if they want to and imply this? And she's like, well, yeah, anything's possible. Some journalists could do that, but that's not what I did. So, and then followed that up by tweeting, breaking news that'll most definitely change your life. Deft Noodles is trending and no one knows why. Well, one, it was trending on like the For You section of trending and not even actual trending. Like, so clearly you talk about yourself and think about yourself and search yourself so much that pops up, which is kind of sad. And so Nicholas Diorio replied to that and said, it's because everyone hates you. The commentary guys hate you, the journalists hate you, H3H3's Reddit hates you, Papa Gut hates you. When was the last time you've seen H3's fans, Keemstar, me, Kat Tembarge, and Adam McIntyre, Repsion, and Papa Gut agree? Never. Which is true. I mean, the one thing that has come out about this is that Dennis has managed to bring the entire drama and commentary and tea community together to agree that he is a terrible person. So if one thing comes out of that, at least it's that. I mean, everyone's managed to get along to the point right now that they're all just focused on this, and they all agree, hey, we're not going to stand for you doing this. This is ridiculous. So then Dennis tweets out, me tells a joke, them, and then has this photo of Papa Gut from his live stream where he was talking about the situation that happened with his wife and got very emotional about the situation. And then Dennis decided that he was going to take a screenshot of that and then use it as a meme. He's reaching AF. Yeah, Deft Noodles being a miracle worker, right? To be able to bring together all those people who hate each other to commonly agree on one thing, it takes a lot. So good job there, Dennis. Good job. And then he goes on to announcing roast battles coming second half of 2021. So we'll go ahead and pull this video up real quick and watch this.
All the video, I am suing Keemstar.
Nope.
Now, for those of you...
Sorry, that's the Cabos video. My bad. This one.
See this space? This is my office here in Los Angeles. And there's going to be a performance space in it. And what we're going to do in 2 weeks is we're going to start having roast battles. So everybody talking shit right now on the internet, I invite you to come to my office to say it to my face. Pay the $15 to get through the door, and welcome to the roast battle, baby. Let's see if you can survive the heat, bitch.
So, I mean, clearly he's not bothered, especially with how angry he gets at the end of that clip. That's not somebody who's bothered at all. This is reminding me of how John Cuckian went out, right, Amber? He's still around somewhere. I thought I saw somewhere about him like having like another lipstick launch or something. But yeah, just the ending of that just makes me laugh. So we'll back that up a bit.
Pay the $15 to get through the door, and welcome to the roast battle, baby. Let's see if you can survive the heat, bitch.
Yeah, so, not bothered at all. But the fact that he's now inviting people to come out and just roast him in public when everyone's like, no, we can just do it on Twitter for free. Like, yeah, you gotta, not only do you have to pay to get out there if you're not in the area, you then have to pay him $15 to then roast him to his face when everyone's just doing it online for free. So, I don't know. Apparently, during the Twitter Spaces situation when Xylee got on there, and if you guys have ever watched Xylee's videos, Xylee is very loud and she doesn't take crap from anybody. So of course when she was on there, I could tell she was rubbing people the wrong way because of how loud she was. But Dennis did agree to fly Xylee out so she could yell at him to his face. And he's like, all right, we'll do that. Send me a DM. And he's like, oh, you better be able to roast. It better be funny. And she's like, I'm not known for being funny. I'm known for keeping it real. So I'm just going to just say everything I need to say to your face. So we'll have to see if he actually follows through on that and if that actually happens. I'm going to have to get some updates on that from Xylee to see if he ever said anything back to her. But then the fact that he's going to live stream it too is just going to be good. Gold. Like, the people that are going to come out, like, yeah, there might be some people that are comedians, but let's be honest, anybody from like YouTube or Twitter or whatever, they're not, not comedians. So I'm not expecting anything magical, but it'll be funny to see them roasting him and then him trying to come back and just failing. Let's see. Then he did some like fake apology to Twitter video that was just all clickbait. And then breaking news that'll most definitely change your life. Def Noodles trending for the second day in a row, but no one knows why. Yeah, it's because you're a terrible person. That's why. Then follows that up again with how haters think I react to them. Then again, the picture of Papa Gut crying from the live stream, getting emotional, and then how I'm actually laughing in a picture of I think this is from Spider-Man. I'm not sure. And then Augie and Bo Blacks replied, and Augie said, ratioed by your Twitter social blade. And I did include the likes up there so you can see 295 likes versus 588. And then you can see just the amount of subscribers that he's lost on his Twitter social blade. He has lost more since. I think he's down almost 9,000, if not more, since all this has happened. And then Boblax said his YouTube social blade is pretty spicy too. And I think he's lost another 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers since that was posted as well. All right, so then Optimist jumped in and said, I'm not giving you $15 to annihilate you. If we're being honest, a creator your size offering $15 to annihilate you is kind of pathetic. Money must be tight these days. I formally invite you on stream to do that, though. Don't duck me, Deafy boy. Let's see, losing like 1K per day. Oh yeah, and he's blaming that on his content shift now. And then Dennis replies with a quote tweet and says, it's easy to have Twitter fingers. You can say whatever you want behind a screen, but in person, in front of a room full of people looking at you under the bright lights, let's see if you're as tough as you pretend to be on the internet. I won't charge you, just pull up. Now, like, this whole thing too, like with the roast battle, and at this he's like, oh, you're a tough guy, you can say what you want online. Yeah, if you're gonna go into a studio in a room full of people that's being live stream, like, you can literally say the same thing. Like, there's not gonna be any difference. Like, what's Dennis gonna do? Just punch you in the face? Because then it's all in front of people with witnesses. So you can literally go up and say anything you want to him right to his face. It doesn't have to be a battle. Like, you can say, oh, this is supposed to be a roast battle. Doesn't mean that the people that you bring to the roast battle are actually going to do it. He followed that up and said, hell, I'll pay for his flight and stay in LA if he's from out of state. If he ignores this tweet or says he can't make it for some reason, then you know the answer. He's a bitch. And then Dennis tweets out, pull up at sub to Optimist to the roast battle. I will pay for your ticket and stay in Los Angeles if you're from out of state. If you can't make the date, let me know another date. We're doing roast battles every 2 weeks, so I'm sure I can squeeze you in. Don't be a bitch. And then shared this, that apparently they're doing the first one on August 19th, which is 18 days away, so we'll see if this actually happens and if it actually gets live streamed like he says it's going to. Some of them replied and said, nobody wants to fly out to wherever the fuck you live and roast you when everyone can do it online for free. And I'd have to 100% agree with that. So Dennis in quotes tweets that and says, this is a typical excuse cowards deploy to avoid being confronted for saying reckless shit. Don't throw a stone and hide your hand. If you're gonna speak reckless, then say it to my face. Also, I'm offering to pay his expenses, so I'm essentially offering him a free vacation. And here's the thing, it's not like Optimus or a lot of the people that are calling Dennis out are from like faceless accounts. So it's not like people aren't saying it to his face. People are replying to him, people are quote tweeting him, people are tweeting at him with their actual accounts. It's not just like fake bot accounts that are doing this. By the way, the roast will be broadcast live on my social media. I got the office space I currently have with the purpose of broadcasting shows and events, so this is just the beginning. So then Optimus replies with the following video. So we'll go ahead and pull up that video. Squeeze you in, I'm sure, right? Let's see, that one's this one.
Usually I don't do this, but this is easier and more efficient than making a thread of tweets that no one honestly wants to read, considering the person it's about is Def Noodles, infamous for being a Twitter punching bag and YouTube laughingstock. This man invited me to his show to roast him live. He even waived the $15 entry fee, guys. Oh boy, lucky me. And he said he'd even pay for my flight and stay. He then also called me a bitch, which is heavily ironic. There's a lot of problems with this statement, Dennis. First and foremost, I'm gonna decline your offer to come roast you in person. Why would anyone pay you $15 or do it for free, come see you, to do something that everyone in the community already does for free? I'm already providing the content you want on Twitter.com. I know you don't make any money from it because, well, it's not on your platform, but I guess that sucks for you. But I just want to let you know, you're not undercutting the competition, you're just pathetically whoring yourself out for the same price as a fast food combo meal. But I wouldn't expect anything less from someone of your status, because your entire legacy online is basically you getting absolutely curb stomped by anyone who interacts with you. Which, conveniently enough, completely sucks for you because everything in your life of value solely exists online, and it's slipping away, isn't it, Dennis? It's a hard knock life, I guess. Sorry for hitting the mic there. But if I was down bad enough to lower my standards to a $15 entry fee, it wouldn't be hard whatsoever to torch you. Why don't I accept your offer? Because you can't get anyone interested. There's no money to be made with you, there's no progress to be made, nothing. It's essentially punching down on the kid that everyone in class already punches down on. You call me a bitch for not handing you free content to try to recover your falling statistics with, yet you're the grown fucking man wearing kitty cat ear headphones for 11-year-old children to gawk at when they half digest your content that, coincidentally, they probably stumbled on from one of the many times you've gotten bullied by everybody. Not only that, but you got so ass mad that Keemstar joked about you being a pedophile that you launched a lawsuit against him you'll most likely lose, which is probably why you're whoring yourself out for $15. You might have had more luck starting up the OnlyFans there, Dennis. But if that's not enough to go ahead and get you off my case here, remember the time that Kavos literally made you fucking cry, and you're calling me a bitch? Just come on, man. Just come on my stream, we'll handle this. I'll split the ad revenue with you 50-50. I'll do all the promotion for it because God forbid you do the fucking promotion for it. 500 people might show up. And that money that I give you will go right into your tip jar for paying Keemstar back for his legal expenses fund. Ironically, comedian Def Noodles didn't get that joke. Actually, speaking of your comedy, yet another reason I won't be showing up to perform on your show. Nobody shows up.
I just took a deep person. That bitch, even when I'm crying crazy. Yeah, I got boy problems.
Ironically, you said that there'd be a room full of people or whatever to see me, but knowing that it's you I'm supposedly going up against, I really doubt that's the fucking case. While you continue to get completely bombed by the entire community for your shitty antics all day, what little audience that cared about you is fading away. Even more proof of what I'm saying, your tweet calling me out couldn't even muster up 20 fucking likes in an hour. You have more followers than me, you cannot get engagement. You are actually bad at your fucking job. You're not interesting, you're not funny, you're not worth really anyone's time. Your announcement tweet adding me in it for attention with date and tickets information didn't even get 10 likes. Who the fuck would ever show up to this and give you their time? So to wrap this up, Def Noodles, Quit trying, quit being a pussy, quit trying to fly people across the country to bully you. Let it happen online, let more people see it than what'll ever show up to any of your pathetic fucking shows. And just take it like a man, dude. Just take it like a man. Learn your place and stay there.
I mean, the fact that he said that he was whoring himself out for like, or that he wasn't gonna whore himself out for like a fast food meal, I'm just like, oh my god. Yes, Dragamopti. I found you because of this Twitter breakdown. He finally unfollowed me. Oh, Maury, was Def Noodles following you? I think Papa Gut, or I think I like Papa Gut LOL. I need to sub. I love an articulate drag. Well, that was Optimus is who that was. But I mean, Papa Gut has like Papa Gut's dragged him repeatedly for his antics. So yeah, definitely check out some of his stuff if you haven't seen it. All right, let's see here. So let's go on. So then Optimus follows it up by saying, in 45 seconds, a video roasting this man got more engagement than his quote-unquote promotional tweet about this calling me out. LMAO. If that doesn't tell you where the eyes are and where the revenue is in the situation, then I don't know what will. New content tomorrow. Moving on. He was, since before his first Twitter ban. See, I figured after, like, this whole situation, I mean, I've been, like, replying to things and calling him out. I just figured I was going to get banned, or not banned, blocked. But I feel like he isn't blocking a lot of people, because if he started to block people who were replying and calling him out, as long as they weren't saying, you know, extremely rude things, like if he started to block any of the commentary channels or something, then people were going to accuse him of blocking people to not take accountability and to not hear the points of views. So I don't know. I'm sure he's like, if you go onto my profile, it has a link to my channel, and if you click on it, you can see that I report on, you know, YouTube drama, stuff like that. So I don't know, because my tweet just from yesterday after that Twitter Spaces ended, what's it at right now? Let's see. It's got 215 likes about, I said, Def Noodles Pop Guts made 21 videos about me in the past 8 months. Poor me. Also, Def Noodles makes 40 plus videos about Trisha Paytas in 8 months. So that tweet has gotten more likes than basically all of his tweets since this whole thing began. And I have like, what, 600 followers? Yeah, 678 followers on Twitter. And he has, what, like 148,000? 145.9 thousand followers, and my tweet's getting more likes than his tweet is. So clearly the engagement for his stuff is not there. His own fan base is not there. So then Dennis quote tweets this and says, too long didn't read. This MF talks a lot of shit on the internet but can't back it up in real life, so he posted a 3-minute video coping. Any YouTuber with over 250,000 followers who actually has the balls, I'll pay for your flight to LA and hotel to do the roast battle on August 19th. Pull up or shut up. Now, it's funny that he's offering that to anybody with over 250,000 subscribers, because this is going to be on Dennis's channel. So any money that he makes by getting somebody with 250,000 subscribers and their followers coming over to watch the roast battle is going to him. So he's basically trying to use the following of these people to get more money. Not just a roast battle because people talk so much crap online they can't back it up in person. He's doing this to try to bait people with a large following to come in to get more eyes on his content to be able to make more money. He won't block because he won't get any replies at that point, and he was blocking everyone who said the smallest thing about him before. He's sort of learned something, I guess. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, everybody who is actually replying to and giving him engagement on his posts for people calling him out. So if he started blocking all those people, then his engagement would be even worse. But when when you got 150, 160,000 followers on Twitter and you're not even breaking 50 or 100 likes, like the average, I want to say Twitter, I don't remember what it is exactly. I want to say Twitter's average engagement rate's like 2.5%, is what you want to shoot for. So 150,000 at 2.5%. I mean, you should be getting 3,700 likes per post. Now, even if you drop that down to 1%, he should still be getting 150, and he's not even getting that. And 1% of 150,000 followers, like, clearly your people aren't following you to engage. I feel like they're following you because of the tweets that you put out that are constantly talking about what's happening in social media and with all the news and stuff, and people are just reading those, and they're not reading your bio that says you're a comedian. They're just waiting for whatever story so they can click the video. Someone then replied to him and said, "You should really take a break, dude," to which Dennis quote tweeted and said, "Not gonna happen. I get tremendous fulfillment from my work. I do not depend on outside validation for it to be fulfilling, so the negativity doesn't bother me." Now, here's the thing, though, is that if he doesn't get outside validation, he doesn't make any money. So if everybody stopped watching him, he doesn't make any money. So yeah, you actually do depend on outside validation. Because if your views drop to $0, then that means that everybody's invalidating your content because nobody's watching it because they don't want to hear what you have to say. So your whole channel, anybody's YouTube channel, relies on outside validation. It doesn't mean that they have to leave a comment and say, "Oh my God, I like you so much, you're the best." But that view counts as outside validation. He then goes on to continue and say, "You don't know me, you just watch my videos, so stop telling me how to live my life. If you don't like me, then why follow?" Now, I'm sure some people are going to say the same thing with me, like, "Oh, why do you follow Def Noodles?" Well, I follow because I have to get the tweets. Just because I follow somebody doesn't mean that I like their content or enjoy them. I just have to be able to get the tweets, and I'm too lazy to bring up a second account to do it. He then went on to say, "People replying to this are fucking weird, man. I'm literally in bed petting my dogs after meditating. You don't know me. Stop projecting your own emotions onto written statements I'm publishing. I'm saying I'm mad 99% of the time, or saying I'm mad 99% have never had a conversation with me to know. Get a life." But that again is like when Dennis and Papa Gut had the live stream on Papa Gut's channel where Dennis kept saying, "Well, just admit I hurt your feelings for calling you an incel. Just admit you were mad. Yeah, you were mad that I called you an incel. You were mad." So he's projecting that Papa Gut was mad when he repeatedly said over and over again that he wasn't mad. Hey, American Princess. They follow for the train wreck, right? They literally follow for the train wreck. Exactly. Someone then replied and said, "Dennis, people are just worried about you because of all the things that happened in such short time these past few days. That's all. They just care about you." So they're like, yeah, take a break. Step back from the internet for like 2 seconds. Take a break. Not a big deal. Which then he quote tweets and says, "Nah, don't worry about me. Worry about the grown-ass man who cried on his live stream because I made a joke. I'm surrounded by people 24/7. We're laughing at all this shit because everyone looks out of their minds. I'm still me. I've always been me. People who know me know that." So there, he admits that he's just laughing about the whole situation. So again, don't really feel like he's going to be sorry later on because he still thinks it's funny. And as far as him saying that Papa Gut was a grown-ass man who cried in his live stream because I made a joke, when Papa Gut had his emotional response on his live stream, it was because of the incident that occurred with his wife, and he was talking about that, and that upsets him, not because you made the joke. So again, you're not going out and getting context, which you said multiple times in that Twitter Spaces, that, no, I don't watch your videos. No, I haven't seen that video. No, I haven't seen that video. So you are assuming that that's what happened when it wasn't. This is one big mess, and Def Noodles needs to get off the internet. Yeah, he needs to take a break, but I don't think he realizes that. Hey, you and all. It says a lot how anyone could treat things like that as a joke. Yeah. And I mean, the whole joke thing isn't like the root of the, well, for a lot of people it's the root of the problem, but what Nicholas Diorios was trying to get at on the Twitter Spaces, which he put a video out about it today, is that, you know, the whole joke to him didn't bother him. Okay, everyone will take a different response to that joke, okay? But to him, the issue is that in that tweet, Dennis put the word joking in quotations. So implying that Papa Gut wasn't joking about that tweet and that it is okay to do those things. So that's like what Nicholas Diorio had to, like, was trying to get across when Papa Gut joined that Twitter Spaces, and he had to stop arguing with Dennis at that point so Papa Gut could take over. So, because like a lot of people were like, you know, the joke's inappropriate, and Nicholas Dior was like, I don't care about the joke. I thought the joke was funny. Not a big deal. But the issue was that you made it seem with how you put joking in quotations is that Papa Gut wasn't saying it as a joke. And for some reason, Dennis wasn't understanding that at all, what he was trying to say. And so he said it multiple times over and over again. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, oh my God, why can you not comprehend this? And then somebody else who was still in like the Twitter Spaces little voice chat thing was like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. You keep saying the same thing over and over again. Like, you don't even know what you're talking about. It's like, no, you're not even understanding it either. Like, how are you not understanding what he's trying to say? Like, I was just yelling at my phone. I'm like, oh my God, shut up. You're not even a part of this conversation. Yeah, it's not even joking. It's still serious allegations ultimately. Yeah, like 100%. Still, it shouldn't have been said at all. But then when you go and put, you know, the joking in quotations and then tagging the FBI saying put this person on a watch list, like he literally could have just rehashed like Papa Gut said this joke, blah blah, but he took it to a step further than that to make it seem like it wasn't a joke, which is a joke that Papa Gut has multiple times over and over again said, I don't condone this joke. This joke wasn't funny when I made it. I didn't realize what I was saying. I apologize, all that. So he's repeatedly, over and over and over again, condemned the joke. It's like he doesn't want to understand it, but then he'd hate if anyone did that to him. That's hypocrisy. Oh yeah, well remember, he's suing Keemstar for making the same joke because Keemstar has news in his Twitter bio, because Drama Alert's the #1 most trusted news source on YouTube. I mean, I could put that in my Twitter bio. I could say I'm the most #1 trusted news source on Twitter. Doesn't mean it's true. Like, you would think that Dennis being this comedian and having all this comedic training that he constantly throws around, that he studied here and he studied there and he's performed here and he's performed there, would be able to understand what Nicholas Diorio was saying in his question of like, how do you not understand that putting quotes around the word joking changed the context of what you were saying? Because Def Noodles is always saying, it's about context, and how it's all in context. Yeah, exactly. And then you're getting called out about, hey, this is what your context is leading people to believe, and he doesn't understand it. Yeah, and Papa Gut never thrown around allegations like that. Exactly, he's literally suing Keemstar for this. Yeah, because Keemstar put the #drama-alert at the end of his tweet. So he's suing Keemstar for the exact same thing that he did. When, again, 5-6 months ago in the live stream previously with Dennis and Papa Gut, Dennis said that it's highly wrong and inappropriate. It should never be done to use sexual assault or pedophilia jokes or allegations towards someone. Like, those are literally his own words, that you should never do that, but then goes on to do it himself. Then again, Dennis tweets out, "Me, breathes, Twitter," and then the photo of Papa Gut from the live stream. I don't know what that one is. Do I have? No, I don't have. Oh, okay. So then, I saved a recording of this just in case this got taken down. I think I still have a screenshot of the actual like shirts. So you can see here it says, introducing the Cry About It shirt. You can now celebrate all the crybabies in your life with this one-of-a-kind piece for a limited time only. Link in thread, where he went and made a t-shirt. Allegedly, I don't know if any of them were sold, if he's going to refund the orders if any of them are sold. But I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong because I'm not a copyright legal attorney or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that if you try to use somebody else's picture on a piece of merchandise and sell it, that and if you don't get their permission to use it, I don't think it's legal, but I don't really know, because I think that'd be super weird if you could just, because I know you can't do it to celebrities. If you take a picture of like Kylie Jenner and put it on a t-shirt and try to sell it, trust and believe that all that money is going to go to Kylie. Like, you're not going to get any of it. I think I have the actual screenshots of it though. Holy wow, I missed a lot. I had no idea any of this happened. Hey Raph. Allie and Paige Christie made good videos too. True Sleuth. I've seen Paige's. I think I saw all of Allie's too. I know I had to watch it in like 2 different times because I had to stop in the middle of it, but I'm pretty sure I saw hers as well too. Yeah, because I commented on it. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, the fact that he doesn't realize that everyone's calling him out because of his own behavior and still doesn't understand why was ridiculous. Like, it should have been pretty apparent right away once people started calling you out what the issue was, but it still took him over a 6-hour Twitter space to even finally start to understand. I hope Papa Gut DMCA's the shirts, to be honest, if he actually sells any. Well, he did take them down. During the Twitter spaces, someone did finally convince him to actually take them down. I didn't read that one. Dennison went on to say, "I want to thank all the drama channels for making videos sensationalizing my jokes. I've been trying to pivot away from the drama for the last 7 months, and you're all doing me a favor. The more drama seekers leave my pages, the less I have to cater to them. So please keep it coming." So he says that he's been trying to pivot away from drama over the past 7 months. Like, I went to his channel, and actually, let's see here. Let me just go ahead. We'll make a new tab here, and we'll go over to Twitter, or not Twitter. And we'll go over to Def Noodles channel, and pause this because I don't want to hear that. Okay, so let's pull this up. So he's trying to get away from like YouTube drama and all that. So here we go. We got Def Noodles channel pulled up. Now, let's see. I'll wait to make sure that this actually appears over on the. Yeah. Okay. I mean, you could argue that Will Smith would be more of like a mainstream celebrity topic, but technically Will Smith does have a YouTube channel now, so I'm not going to count that one. But let's see here. How long does it take us to get into? So you got TikTok, that's still like kind of social media stuff. I don't know what that is. America went to war on July 4th, 2022. So I mean, that one could be non-YouTube related, but that was 3 weeks ago. So looks like, so it took three weeks to find a non-YouTube related or non like social media drama related video. Let's see, then you have a couple here. You got Jordan Peterson and Elliot Page, Ezra Miller, MGK. So there's a few there from a month ago. But again, almost all of these videos are about YouTube drama. It's not like he's doing like, 2 YouTube drama videos, then another video, 2 drama channels, then another. Like, if you only put 1 video in or 2 videos in per month of doing 30 videos a month about non-YouTube drama, then people who find your stuff related to non-YouTube drama aren't going to come back and watch your stuff. Like, because like, oh, this person doesn't even do this most of the time. Like, why would I want to subscribe to them? I don't know. That's my thought on it. Trying to pivot away from drama, but went to Ace Fest. Sure, Dennis, right? Don't forget to give this thumbs up live. Thank you, Raph. Let's see. Then he goes on to say, by the way, I appreciate all the social media engagement you're giving me on Twitter. My account was banned for a year and then shadow banned, but thanks to all of you, I recently trended on Twitter twice and reached 30 million impressions in a week. Couldn't have done it without you. And then somebody replied and said, you're literally suing at Keemstar for the exact same thing you did to Papa Gut. Why is it defamation when it happens to you, but a joke when when you do it to others? This is a valid question, not an attack. Then Dennis quote tweeted it and did you're suing someone and doing the same thing. And here are his reasonings. 1, my comedian says bio. Okay, so if I change my comedian to President of the United States, does it make it true? Does it make it factual? No, it doesn't. Number 2, since 2019, I said I covered news as a joke and wasn't meant to be taken seriously. New York Magazine interview. But here's the thing, is that he's been quoted multiple times in magazines, in online interviews, for his tweets that he says are jokes about actual real issues. So if somebody is using your tweet and your whole thing is a joke and a parody, maybe it shouldn't be attached to any kind of serious topics. Like, the issue is that, you put out all those false allegations about James Charles, and all the stuff that you were putting out was making it into articles. But yeah, all of your stuff is a joke and isn't to be taken seriously, but yet it's still being used in mainstream media articles. So I would assume that all of those people don't realize that your stuff's a joke either. 3, saying someone looks like a pedo isn't an accusation, especially when they objectively look like a pedo. And again, there's no specific look. Like, you are like generalizing an appearance of somebody to equate to something else. And in the Twitter spaces, he's like, well, could you identify as a fire hydrant, Papa Gut? Could you? He's like, no, because people can't be fire hydrants. You're an idiot. He's like, okay, so if I called you a chef, that'd be fine? It's like, yeah, anyone can be a chef. It was just a mess. And then he followed that up by saying, but don't worry, I'm doing a man on the street next week on Hollywood Boulevard to get to the bottom of this. Does this MF look like a pedophile? I wonder what the results would be. So he basically just said that he's going to take photos of Papa Gut out onto the streets of Hollywood Boulevard and ask random people on the street if Papa Gut looks like a pedophile for content. Wow. Someone then replied and said, you obviously missed the point where Keemstar at least used the words quote-unquote allegedly in his tweet. You're so wrong in this instance. I hope he sues the F out of you. You're not winning your lawsuit you're not winning your Keem lawsuit, by the way. Which Dennis quote tweeted and said, allegedly doesn't protect you when you knowingly and malicious make a false criminal accusation and then confess to knowing and maliciously making it. Moron. Well, no, neither does putting comedian in your Twitter bio. Putting comedian in your Twitter bio does not absolve you of any kind of legal ramifications from what's about to happen. Like, does he not understand that? Like, I don't understand what's not clicking up there for him to understand that just because you have comedian in your Twitter bio doesn't mean you can say whatever you want and not suffer the consequences. Then Nicholas Diorgo tweeted new video this week related pick. Who do you like less? Jeffrey Epstein, Chris Chan, Hitler, or Def Noodles? And Def Noodles won with 66% of the vote. So then Dennis quote tweeted that and said, since you're making a video about me, how about you pull up to the roast on August 19th? I'll pay for your tickets and stay. I'll buy a whole row of seats and make a whole book a whole floor on the hotel to make sure you're comfortable. You talk a lot of shit. I wonder if you can back it up. It's like he's trying to just get people there because he knows that nobody's going to show up. Like, I would be shocked if people actually showed up that weren't literally in like the West Hollywood area. Nick then replied and said, I hit you up on Monday and you didn't respond, by the way, so you're not in any position to be requesting my presence anywhere. When I'm out in LA for VidCon, I expect we'll have a meetup. See you then. And then shared a screenshot of the DMs that said, an interesting Vogue post indeed. An interesting vague post indeed. I wonder who could... Why can't I read today? I wonder who could be on his mind. Tell you what, at Def Noodles, when I'm back out in LA next year for VidCon, DM me the address of where you do stand up. I tried to find you myself last time, but unfortunately I was unable to do so. And then shared a tweet where Dennis said, this is the Michelin Man. Michelin Man likes to talk tough, but he's soft like a marshmallow. He hides in his mom's house and makes excuses to not go out in public. Michelin Man is an incel. Don't be Michelin Man. Oh, wow. That's a real good one there, Dennis. Real good one. So then he tweeted out, too long didn't read, this turd spent days in my replies talking shit. Yesterday, talk shit live. Is making a video talking more shit. I offered a free vacation to say it to my face and he runs. This is after his fans said he'd go. I'll do one better. I'm in New York next week. I'll meet you anywhere. Hey T. Glad to catch up. See you live again. Def Noodles is so nasty. Oof, that's one hell of a ratio. Noodles doesn't get a chance, or Noodles doesn't stand a chance against Augie or Nick. And neither are creators I've been crazy fond of, but at least they're honest. Yeah, I mean, if Augie or Nick get up in front of him, like in public, in front of people, I mean, they're very quick on their feet, so I don't see that coming from Dennis. I don't. I think he's about to make a fool out of himself, saying that he has all this comedic training and did all these improvs and stuff, because I don't see it. I don't see the comedy. Nick then replied and said, I got you, my brother, 9 a.m. and then circled the New York Comedy School. And Dennis quote tweeted said, nice meme. You'd never dox the location you'd be at publicly. Let's do it like this. Reply to this tweet saying, I agree, let's meet. So there's no doubt you're doing it. And we can arrange the meeting spot in the DMs. Otherwise, you're full of shit. Which Nick replies and says, wait, Dennis, you actually don't think about the New York Comedy School? in Hell's Kitchen? I'm shocked you wouldn't believe me. Which then Dennis quote tweeted and said, Q, I'm going to stop responding to you until you DM me so we can arrange the roast. You can deflect all you want with these little games and it may work with your audience, but it's clear you're a bitch and you can't back what you say. The offer still stands if you ever grow a pair. It's just funny that it's like, if you don't come and meet me where I say you need to meet me, then you're a bitch and you can't do it. You can't take the heat. It's like, dude, the way you're acting shows that you are so upset about this. All right, then we have Def Noodles tweeting out this, and it says, who could have seen this coming? Crybaby in Chief actively seeks to get me deplatformed. Unfortunately for him, he still looks like a pedophile, and shared the following screenshots. Hello at Twitter, at Twitch, hello at YouTube, at Twitch support, at Twitter support. I have been the target of a harassment campaign by another content creator who has openly calling me a pedophile and is now threatening to make a video of him walking the streets asking people if I look like a pedophile. Which Team YouTube replied, so sorry this happened. Harassment is something we don't tolerate on YouTube, and the first step to resolve this is to report the channel instructions here. I think I have the screenshot later where Papa Gut said that this is a joke, and clearly Dennis didn't get it. But whether or not it was a joke, it doesn't really matter, because I feel like, he could actually report the channel if he wanted. But I just wanted to pop in and say hi. I gotta get some sleep. Hopefully I'm getting discharged from the hospital tomorrow if my tests come back. Okay, have a good night. All right, Maury, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you feel better. So then Dennis tweets out, commentary, quote-unquote tough guys who have so far buckled. Nicholas Diorio ran like a bitch. Optimus ran like a bitch. Papa Gut tried to get me deplatformed. Papa Gut already had a conversation with you before this, and it clearly didn't, it didn't go well because you just screamed the entire time and acted like a child throwing a tantrum. So, why would he even want to have any kind of conversation with you? The only reason he is now is because of the shit that you're doing. Dennis then went on to tweet, this is just the beginning of roast battles. Too many losers get away with being quote-unquote tough guys on the internet with Twitter fingers saying shit they can't back up. We're building a platform where cowards will be weeded out, and hopefully you'll get some entertaining content along the way. I know Twitch rules about offline or other platform harassment, but does YouTube? I don't know if YouTube cares what happens on other platforms. They just care what happens on theirs. So, followed by, comedy has been muddled by amateurs and weirdos on social media who use it with no understanding of it. We're bringing back the old age tradition of insult comedy. We're talking about Joan Rivers, Gilbert Gottfried, Don Rickles, done by comedians for the digital age. It's funny how he says that comedy has been muddled by amateurs, but Dennis, I'm sorry, I would still say that you are an amateur comedian. Unless you're doing it on a daily, weekly basis and you're making your living off of paying gigs and only doing comedy gigs, not a YouTube channel, I wouldn't say that you're a comedian. You're a YouTuber. He then followed it up by tweeting actual photo of Papa Gut's car, and it's a free candy van. Really? Okay, yeah, so here's the response from Papa Gut. It said, I'm sorry for my last tweet suggesting Dennis should be punished in some capacity for slandering me, as I was actually joking, but that wasn't made clear because I'm not funny at all. I will do better by adding quote-unquote comedian to my profile. Such childish behavior. I honestly feel like he's being the internet tough guy here. Also, comedian does not fit him at all. Yeah. Like, he's the one trying to get people to pull up. Like, I mean, really? Oh, come on, battle me to my face, pull up. Like, seriously, dude? Dennis then quote tweeted that and said, "Nobody is slandering you, big puss. Saying you look like a pedo doesn't mean you're an actual pedo. I can say you look like a fire extinguisher, and it doesn't mean you're an actual fire extinguisher. Geez, these low IQ morons want to comment on stuff without even understanding language." Yeah, but, you know, a person can't be a fire extinguisher, Dennis. Like, how do you not understand that? I don't understand how he doesn't understand what he's saying. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, it makes no sense. He then finished that up by replying by saying, "No, don't cry to mommy, YouTube, you pedo-looking MF." Like, does he know how to do anything else? Like, but he's literally just doing the same thing over and over again, and nobody's laughing at his joke. Like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So when you're doing the same joke over and over again and no one's laughing or thinking it's funny, you're literally it's insane. That's the literal definition of insanity. Papaga then did reply back to that and said, "Didn't you get banned for violating the child sexual exploitation policy?" Which Def Noodles did, yes. To which he replied and said, "Imagine being married and sitting next to your wife in bed at 2:20 in the morning on a Sunday and tweeting a reply to me 2 minutes after I tweet something. This MF, a definition of an incel, a married incel." Okay, that doesn't really have anything to do with it. Like, this whole tweet makes no sense. Like, people have different sleep schedules. His wife could be working, like, and you're in a back and forth on Twitter. So anytime somebody quote tweets you or replies to a tweet, you get a notification. So even if you don't have somebody on notifications for their tweets, if that person quote tweets you or replies, you get a notification. So he's gonna see it if he's awake. Like, Dennis is trying to make it seem like Papa gets obsessed with him, but clearly it's the other way. Then Dennis tweeted out, "Who could have seen this coming? Papa Gut said he's suing Def Noodles because I made a joke saying he looks like a pedophile," which he does. In fact, he looks like an alcoholic Santa Claus who touches children at a mall. Anyway, please go ahead. Would love to discuss in court. So I had, let's see, because that's where that was supposed to be. That video where Papa Gut had the t-shirt pulled up, but for some reason the audio didn't record. But Papa Gut basically just says, like, it might just be easier just to sue him at this point to get it to stop. Which, I mean, I don't know how a defamation suit would go, but it would at least end it so that way he couldn't talk about it anymore. Doesn't acknowledge the comment at all, which is true. Proceeds to make childish insults. Yeah. But again, he just doubles down over and over again. Dennis then continues on and say, "Dude says he's unbothered and then says he's suing me because that's the most unbothered thing you can do." I don't believe he said that. Like, he did say it's like, whatever, I'm not bothered by it, but like, if I needed to stop, I can just sue or whatever. But I mean, Dennis, the way that you're acting is like, you keep telling people that you're good, but clearly you're not. You're clearly bothered by the whole situation because you just keep it going. Okay, here's the tweet about the shirt. Introducing the Crybaby, or the Cry About It shirt. You can now celebrate with all the crybabies in your life with this one-of-a-kind piece for a limited time only. Link in thread. And then someone chimed in and said, you implied that his joke wasn't actually a joke, which is implying he's a pedophile. Stop being a disingenuous liar, and own up to it. Which is the same issue that Nicholas Diorio was trying to make, or the same point that he was trying to make when he was saying the fact that you put the words joking in quotations takes away or adds the context that you're saying that the joke wasn't a joke. And then Dennis replied, said, I'd love to figure this out in court. It would be so much fun. I don't think that it would, because I feel like in court, they're going to argue things down to the most minute detail. And I believe that putting that word joking in quotations changes the context of what that word means, which then would allude to people believing that it wasn't a joke and it was true. Hey, American Princess. This person replied and said, do you not think your actions are weakening your case against Keemstar? I would respect for you standing up for yourself against him, but this has completely shattered that all. Yeah, and I don't feel like Dennis tweeting about this and tweeting all these jokes out about this is really going to help his case, because I'm sure Keemstar has all of this downloaded and documented to hand over to his attorney. Dennis replied and said, you clearly have no idea the fuck you're talking about. I suggest you consult with a lawyer specialized in defamation trials before making blanket statements about things you clearly have no understanding of. And then this person replied and said, bro, you tagged the FBI in a comment saying he looked suspicious to you, and you also implied that his satirical joke wasn't actually a joke, which is implying he's a pedo. You lost all credibility and your career is over. To which Dennis replied saying, my career is far from over and you should personally know this. Just on the business side, you should know this, or at least ask your manager before publicly jumping on the dog pile. You may end up relying on me in your future for your own business ventures. Which I have no idea what any of that's even supposed to mean. Is Dennis buying YouTube? Hey, Courtney. Then Dennis goes on to tweet, breaking news that will most definitely change your life. Def Noodles is trending for a third day in a row and nobody knows why. It's because you're a douche. How about that? That's why. Alright, then Dennis tweeted out, had to remove a bunch of tweets after Crybaby encouraged his fans to brigade my account and plead with Twitter and YouTube to have me deplatformed. This MF has been posting videos and tweets about me for months. I started responding and boom, he runs to mommy. Seems familiar. I didn't see anywhere where Papa Gut encouraged his fans to flag Def Noodles accounts or tweets or videos. So don't really know why you're putting that accusation out there. Again, another false statement, because I didn't see any tweets. I saw Papa Gut tweet at YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter support, but nothing saying to his fans to go report things. So again, he's just putting out accusations. Somebody replied and said, you're quite literally harassing him, Dennis. Fucking get over yourself. Are you generally not that self-aware? To which Dennis has the audacity to reply saying, no one is harassing anyone. Really? Really? All of those tweets you wouldn't call harassing? Okay. I'm directly responding to all of his statements, many of which he's been making for months without a response from me. But you tweeting out the pictures of him from the live stream, you tweeting out the picture of his car or van, those weren't in responses to anything. You making those t-shirts weren't responses to anything that he was saying. Those are just tweets that you wanted to put out. It's not because you don't like my response that all of a sudden, it's not because you don't like my response that it's all of a sudden harassment, grow a pair. Okay. He likes having folders on people. Was that the last one? Okay. I mean, so then that's basically, that's the last tweet. I'm sure there were more back and forth, but I didn't want to include too many like off-topic ones and stuff. So then that basically brings us to the 6-hour Twitter Space live situation, where basically, for the most part, I mean, it's still, I believe you can still go back and listen to it on the Def Noodles Twitter account. I believe it's still there. But it was basically just him letting people come up onto the panel and share their opinion. And a majority of the people that were going up on the panel was like, dude, your joke's not funny. Like, it has serious implications. Like, why don't you understand that your joke's not funny? The fact that you can literally bring together all these commentary people who absolutely hate each other, excuse me, never agree on anything, and they're all agreeing on this one situation. Like, I don't even know if, like, Kat knows who Papa Gut is. Like, maybe she does. I mean, all the other people involved probably do, because, you know, they all know about Dennis, and so Papa Gut makes videos on Dennis. But to be able to bring all these people around that hate each other, who constantly argue and bicker with each other within the community, and they're all agreeing that you are the problem and your tweet's the problem, and you still don't understand that. But that's basically how the whole 6 hours went. There were some people that were defending him. There were some people that were like, I didn't think it was a bad joke. Everyone has their opinion on it. But I feel like a majority of the people who were speaking were like, dude, how do you not understand that your joke is offensive? And then Kat even got on there, and he had a discussion with her, because she's the one that wrote the article that he tweeted about. And she literally said, I did not imply anywhere in that article that Monty Lopez was a pedophile. You did, not me. Because I said young women, not young girls. Because she was 25. She is still a young woman. Because what did they say? Like, the brain's not fully developed until like 25 or something like that. So she would still be considered a young woman. So that's what I labeled her as. But then Dennis came back. He's like, well, I mean, politician, like, there could somebody who is trying to make something not seem as bad about a politician's writing a story about a minor, title it young women instead of girls. And she's like, well, yeah, anything's possible, but that's not what I did. He's like, oh, so you're saying it's possible then? I gotcha. It's like, dude, no. That's not, like, anything is possible. But she didn't do it, but yet you're using your article as a reference saying that she did, that she implied that he was a pedophile. But you were the one that implied that. I don't know, I think it's weird that Dennis likes to just constantly call people pedophiles. It's a little weird. It's a little suspicious. But I don't know. But that's really all that I got about this. I'm not even going to get into the Twitter Spaces thing because I tried to download it. I'm sure somebody has it downloaded and a recording of it somewhere. I tried to download it and I couldn't find a site that would save the whole thing. It would only save like 3 hours of it. And honestly, I don't know if I could like listen to Dennis talk for another 3 hours. But I'm sure there'll be clips of it that go around and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for all the tweets and everything today. So I don't know. Do you guys have any questions, comments, opinions, anything? Hey y'all, I'm legit trying to catch up on what's happening. It's a mess. We just finished going through all the tweets. Have you seen his podcast today? I haven't. How long is his podcast? Is it like 2 hours? Let's see here.
I developed a psychosomatic.
Let's see. It was streamed 3 hours ago. My internet is terrible, so it's not pulling up time length. So we'll just give it a minute. Let's see if it'll pull up on my phone. It's 2 hours and 1 minute. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and watch that for 2 hours and 1 minute. I mean, I can definitely go in and watch it and see what it has to say, and we can address it in like the next live. But I don't know. I sometimes I kind of want to sit here and watch, stuff like that. But then I'm like, he's just gonna strike the channel and claim the video for copyright. I don't know. I don't know how some people can do that and other people, I don't know. I'll have to figure out how some of the people do it and they don't get copyright claims. I don't know. He's always been a horrible person. Never paid attention to him because of that. This does seem like a mess. I used to watch Dennis, but a few months ago it became annoying. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, Courtney. He would do that. Labeling people with super damaging title and being like, it's their fault for belonging, or it's their fault for being offended or butthurt, so it's scummy to me. Yeah. And that's like the whole thing too. He's like, what did Papa Gut say? Like, he was more, I feel, my personal opinion is that he was more upset about his image being used because of that vulnerable moment that he shared on stream about his wife than he really was about the whole pedo situation. I mean, he was upset about that too, but I feel like just the way that Dennis didn't even understand the context of what his reaction was while recounting that story, which then invalidated his feelings, which then invalidated the situation with his wife, is what he was really upset about. I could be reading into that wrong. That's what I was hearing. But I mean, both of them were issues. Yeah, I watched him over time. He's gotten annoying. I used to agree with some of his things. I used to agree with some of his takes, but lately it's not been it. Well, and honestly, the only thing that whenever I watched him that made me laugh is like when he would just butcher people's names on purpose, like calling Trisha Paytas like Trisha Potato. Like, I mean, that to me was like the funniest thing that he ever said in his videos. I never watched his videos because they were hilarious. Sometimes I would go and watch them just because he would go through 6 things in one video and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's what that was. To be honest, even with the Ace Family situation, it's like poke the bear tactics. Yeah, like to travel, there were plenty of people who traveled to the Ace Fest to get the inside scoop about what happened. Like, Dennis was there, Rich Lux and Matt Cast were there. They didn't make it in. H3 was there. Spill Sesh was there. I mean, Spill Sesh should be able to get in without a problem because unless she talked to somebody and somebody knew who she was, there's no way anybody would know that what she was there for. Because obviously everyone's going to be taking pictures and videos because they're trying to document their trip and stuff. But to go there to literally wait in a line probably for 3+ hours to just ask somebody like, how can I become a scammer like you? Like that was your gotcha moment. Okay. I honestly wish when he got to the boxing event press conference and Austin invited him into the van, like he had somebody with him So why wouldn't he just get in the van? Like, you have documentation that they asked you to get into the van. You know who was all there. You have it all on video. It's not like they would have been able to do anything and not get in trouble for it. So I wish he would have gotten the van and had to hear what Austin had to say. I'm assuming they wouldn't be able to be recorded. So we'd have to take his word for it. And let's be honest, would we take anything that Dennis says seriously? Probably not, because remember, he's a comedy channel. So yeah, I'm surprised he honestly didn't even just cut part of that out when they're like, get in the van, and just be like, oh, I got in the van and this is what happened. He started trying to be political without knowing anything. He should have stayed just with the gossip YouTube stuff. Yeah, and if you're gonna go on to like the political side of TikTok, or not TikTok, wow, political side of YouTube, and share actual like commentary about that stuff, then if you don't have time to do your research about the topics you're talking about now, how are you going to have time to do research about anything political, especially when they get into talking about subjects such as like bills and stuff, where some of these things are 5, 6, 8, 900 thousands of pages long? Are you going to sit through it and read every single page to make sure what somebody is saying is going to be true? I mean, it just, unless you're already involved in politics and that's what you really want to do, if you're going to be talking about that stuff, then I feel like you need to make sure you're doing the research. And trust and believe, like, if you try to make a joke out of it, it's probably not going to go over too well. Because, I don't know, like, Dennis's whole thing is, I'm a comedian, I tell jokes, but no one gets that he's a comedian. No one gets that he's joking. So it doesn't come off that way. And I know he'll quote like, I'm like Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart and John Oliver. Is it John Oliver? I don't know. All those people. But here's the thing. Weren't most of those people on Comedy Central? I feel like most of them were. Let me check here. HBO. Joe McHale. Yeah, Joe McHale was on E, wasn't he? And like Tosh.0 or whatever. Like, I feel like a lot of these things were like on Comedy Central, and not like ABC and stuff. I mean, I could be wrong, because like Bill Maher is on like Showtime or something, right? Was Last Week Tonight only on HBO? After hosting The Daily Show. Okay, yeah, which The Daily Show was on Comedy Central, I believe. Why is it so hard to find this information? Let's see here. Him hiding behind the blanket of comedy when he can't even make an actual joke is an insult to stand-up. It's just a joke, and instead just stirs up drama. Yeah, he said he wants to make his YouTube into the soup. I mean, he can do whatever he wants, but I mean, at this point, I don't think anybody's ever going to take you seriously. And I get that you're a comedian and it's supposed to be a joke, but I don't think anybody's going to take your comedy seriously either. What was I just searching for? Okay. Yeah. So The Daily Show is on Comedy Central. So, yeah, like, people, like, you're watching a show on Comedy Central, people go to that because they know that it's comedy. Like, I'm not gonna go to a news show on Comedy Central and expect I'm getting the most amazing accurate news. I mean, you don't even get accurate news on, like, actual news channels these days. So doing one on a comedy channel, like you understand that it's comedy because it's on a comedy channel. Like, anything on YouTube could be anything. His son used to work as part of TYT organization, as his uncle owns it, and developed his online channel and then posted on YouTube as well. Yeah, like, I mean, if you want to get into a debate with someone, like, I mean, because I know Dennis says, I'm not a debater, I'm a comedian. Like, I'm not Hassan. It's like, well, yeah, because Hassan does his research about topics. I agree. Getting political really requires a lot of work and research. Speaking as somebody who does this, if not done properly, it leads to spreading further misinformation. Oh, yeah, and, I mean, let's be honest, like, I feel like people in politics don't play around. Like, if you're in politics, you have money at your disposal to do things that you need to do to make things stop. So I can guarantee, like, a lot of people get cease and desist and defamation suits and stuff behind the scenes for improper reporting on topics that are defamation, libel, slander, you know, depending on however it's published. Like, those political pockets are very deep. Like, you have the money. Like, you think that fighting the defamation suit against Keemstar costs money? Like, yeah, Keemstar has plenty of money for Keemstar, but, I mean, once you get into political families, they have way more money. So very true. Oh my god, the soup is a blast in the past. I don't think he'll ever be Joel McHale type of comedian. Plus, do we not remember the damage that caused in the 2000s? Yeah. Well, and then also in that tweet, he said, like, we're taking it back to, like, insult comedy days and stuff. It's like, do you know why insult comedy doesn't land now like it used to? Because people are more aware of topics and situations, which is why you don't really have those types of comedians anymore, because stuff like this happens where you think it's a joke and nobody else does. All right, guys, I think that's probably going to be about it. I'll go and watch this thing. What is it? This podcast on, like, 2.5 times speed. See if there's anything important in there, or see what y'all has to say. But I'm not going to sit here and play it on stream. I'll have to go through and take clips out or write down timestamps and, like, jump into those timestamps, because I'm not going to just do all that for him to come through and, like, claim the video. So I'll have to do a little bit more research and see what I need to do to be able to play things on stream and stuff, because I know it's possible, but I just wonder if a lot of people just take the chance of it getting claimed or not. But all right, I think that's gonna be everything for today. So thank you guys all for coming to hang out. And I know on Papa Gut's channel, he did put a video up about the Twitter Spaces when he got in there, so definitely feel free to go check that out, so that way you can hear what he had to say from his end. But other than that, that's gonna be everything for today. And yeah, we'll go ahead and see you in the next live. I don't know when it's gonna be, but probably sometime this week. So we'll see y'all then. All right, bye.